Hey everybody, Cole here with Classic Mini DIY. Today I want to share with you a project that I have been considering, thinking about, planning for almost a year now, and I have been very nervous to share it with you guys because it also involves me asking you guys for financial support in order to accomplish the job. And for those of you who don't know me personally, this is not something that I particularly enjoy asking for. I have absolutely no problem supporting projects that I think are really cool, whether it's a new development project or someone's really cool rebuild project or something. But for some reason, me asking somebody else feels so much different, and it makes me incredibly nervous that you guys are going to think that I'm some jerk and you won't like it, and then you'll unsubscribe or you won't watch my videos anymore, and that would make me very sad. So please know this is extremely difficult for me, but I felt like it was time for me to share this with you guys and see if it's something you're interested in supporting and see if it's something you'd like to see me do on my Mini. Now, instead of me just blabbering on about what it is I want to do to the motor in my workroom, I figured I would bring you guys out here to my motor and show you exactly what I have in mind. Now, without further ado, drum roll please. I want to install a 7-port cross-flow head on my motor. Now I imagine some of you will probably know immediately what I'm talking about. But for those of you that don't, and to help you understand exactly why this is a big deal and why it's such a huge project, is that in order to do this, I would be changing the entire way the intake system works on the Classic Mini. And so right now, we're looking at my motor, and this top block right here, where all the spark plugs are plugged into, is called your cylinder head. And this portion of your motor controls the intake and the exhaust out the bottom of your car, as well as the spark, and then really the whole kind of, I like to think of this as kind of the brain of the motor. And so we'd be changing that brain for something that's a little bit more modern, that is considerably more efficient, and is in general cooler. And now, if you don't know what a crossflow head is, the general concept is that it shifts the way that the air and the gasoline into your motor and the way that it exits. I mean, it doesn't really change how it exits that much. The general gist is that instead of having 2 intakes on the back of the motor here, where you have your carburetors, you end up having 4 ports on the front with 4 filters, or 1 big filter, where the air enters your motor from the front, explodes, and then it travels out the back of the motor. And that's where you get the naming convention of a cross-flow head. Now, one of the coolest things about this is that while it is a big change for the Classic Mini and the way that it processes its fuel and air, is that you don't technically have to make any changes from the bottom of the cylinder head down. So you can keep your standard block, your standard transmission, and really everything else on the motor, and just change out the top end of the motor. And obviously this is really desirable for people who don't want to change the way the Mini looks, and I think that it is the perfect hybrid between a kind of modern fueling technology and an old motor. So while I'm talking about this, I'm going to put some pictures on the screen here so you can see. But the company that I have been looking at and the stuff that I've been effectively swooning over for the past year is from a company called Specialist Components. And they're based out of the UK, and they make a custom cylinder head, custom intake system, custom ECU and engine management system, and it all complements each other, gets placed on the Mini motor, and exponentially increases the power for those of you who are interested in that kind of thing. The nice thing is that once I would do this, I can actually start targeting my car towards track events, autocrossing, doing some really, really cool and fun stuff. Not to say that the stock Mini motor is at all a slouch in any way. The stock 1275 is amazing. It won the Monte Carlo Rally many times. It has beat many bigger block motors simply because it is strong, reliable, and the car and the driver combined with a solid motor is sometimes much better than just more power. Although Jeremy Clarkson probably would disagree with me. So let's head back inside because it's snowing out here right now and I'm really cold, and I want to talk to you guys about how much it's going to cost and what it means for you guys, and to see if you're interested in contributing and supporting this big engine project on my car. Alright, so now the part that I like the least, and it's the part where we talk about actual numbers and what it'll take to actually get this job done on my car. Now, to recap, the things that I want to do are replacing the cylinder head, pulling the motor, doing a full engine restore and revamp in preparation for this new cylinder head, and then replacing the intake and exhaust system that's used on the stock cylinder head with a fully injected and fully computer managed system on the top end of the motor. I will be keeping the original transmission, the original clutch, the original block, and I won't be overboring or doing anything crazy with the block past what I've already done. My engine's already a 1293, it already has a fast road cam in it, so really the only thing that's left to do is to approach this head and to determine if it's something that you guys want to support. So the whole project, everything, all said and done, is going to cost $5,000. That is for a custom machined head, the intake system, and the full ECU management system, as well as any ancillary items that I'm going to need to replace on the motor as I'm taking it apart and rebuilding the things that need to be rebuilt. Now, that probably seems like a lot of money. It seems like a lot of money to me, which is part of why it was so difficult for me to bring this to you guys. But I was thinking about it, and if every one of my subscribers just donated $1, it'd be enough. The whole project would be done. I would have the money to complete it. I'd be able to make every episode for you guys, detailing the whole process, as well as a little bit extra, actually. But if this is something that you guys think is cool, if it's something that you would like to support on the channel, please head over to Patreon, or PayPal, or Square Cash. Any of these three options are ways to donate or support the channel. If you decide to go to the Patreon route, I do have new support tiers for people who are contributing to the channel. If you're a $1 supporter, you have my eternal thank you. But if you do $5 a month, it actually entitles you to support and chat directly with me via a tool that many of the online gamers who watch my channel know about, and possibly some who don't. It's called Discord. It ties in directly with Patreon. You guys can download the app and you'll have a direct contact line with me anytime you have a question. And then if you support $15 or more, then it connects you with the exclusive channel where you get one-on-one support with me anytime, and I will respond to you guaranteed within 24 hours with whatever mini question you might have, or really most any question that I can answer. Now, if you're not interested in supporting the channel on a long-term basis, that is totally okay. Absolutely okay. And if you go on Patreon, you actually have the option to choose to support for just 1 month, and you can cancel anytime you want. But if you do remain a subscriber, you do maintain access to that one-on-one support, and obviously you're helping me make these videos. You guys are helping me make cool videos for you guys, and lots of new episodes with lots of really cool stuff. But there's one more thing, and I've been keeping it a secret this whole time, because after I explain to you guys what I'm doing here, I'll obviously have a leftover cylinder head. And it's a nice cylinder head. It's a 1275, it's ported, it's got big valves. This head is made for a performance motor. And what I will do is strip it down, repaint it, and I will be giving it away. And if you guys support the channel, you'll get an extra 5 entries in to win this head. But I'll be hosting it similar to the way I've done my other giveaways, where you can sign up if you subscribe and blah 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 blah. You can go on this and that and get an entry. But if you support the channel, you'll get 5 extra entries. And this cylinder head, if you were going to purchase it yourself, would be a pretty penny. It cost me a pretty penny to get that thing ported and get the valves adjusted and make it the way it is now. So that will be my gift back to you guys, my thank you for helping to support this big project, this big conversion. One of my lucky viewers will get a 1275 cylinder head to put on their Mini. So again, Patreon, PayPal, Square Cash, you can mail me a check, I don't care. Whatever works best for you guys, please think about supporting, and I will see you guys on the next 998 engine rebuild video, which should be coming up here in a couple weeks. We've been waiting on some parts for the motor, and that's got to go to the machine shop, which will take a little while to get all that stuff back. But until then, enjoy those minis and motor on.